All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, what I want to call this is, am I creating or am I self-destructing? Because, I think a lot of people don't realize when you're extremely creative, and it took me a long time to realize that I guess I do fall in this category of somebody who's obsessed with creating things. But I'm not obsessed in creating things that, say, other people want to create. I'm more on the side of maybe creating platforms or creating things that online. That would include obviously this podcast or a YouTube video, or it could be a program that I created like Mastering Self-Confidence. And I like creating websites, even new ones. I like that aspect of it, making films. I'm not a guy who's going to go out and work on a car. I'm not going to be a guy anymore that works on his house, like a designer, interior designer. I can do it, actually. Believe it or not, I even was taking some classes in that at one time online, and I did fairly well. I think just because of my father does really well with that, and so does my mother, and so do a lot of other people I was surrounded by. And I lived in and out of some beautiful homes before throughout my life, and Florida, and having a splash of Florida, living in California, living in Chicago. I kind of, I could work my way through that. But what I realized lately, I can't stop creating. And it's almost like, I can't say it's a drug, but no matter what it is, I just can't stop. And a lot of people that know me, we goof around a lot. So the last year of the pandemic, you're thinking, hey, what is Rich doing? He's not traveling, he's not working. I went crazy. I went nuts on my YouTube channel, never stopped creating things for that, content-wise. I went and did a bunch of different style podcasts, interviewing many different people on Zoom, along with creating or working on marketing my program and creating maybe possibilities for new shows I want to do on YouTube, along with different podcasts, along with working on another book with my mother, a cookbook, and then I'm working on something else as well. And I'm just known for just being a scatterbrain to a certain degree. It's hard for me to focus on one thing. But I was going back and forth with somebody recently, and I'm creating something else. And he's a very well known. He owns a very well known clothing line, and he's like, Rich, man, you're creative. You can't stop. Don't because I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to be working on something else now. I can't stop. Is this at the point where it's helping me or destroying me? I can't stop. And like a lot of people, though, I'm not like a lot of people, though. I like to sleep more than most people. I like to work out more than most people. I like to go out and eat a lot more than most people. But I'm not a guy who, on my off time, wastes time, if that makes sense. Like, sure, I'll watch some television shows here or there, but even a lot of times when I'm watching them, I'm on my computer working on something. The minute I wake up, kind of working on something. I don't have a schedule. I just do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it, but for long periods of time. So say I do sleep more than the average person, a couple more hours, but when I am awake, I can assure you I'm probably doing a lot more than most people because I don't have those downtimes. But again, I don't know how to explain it, but you may be in this situation as well. And it doesn't even have to be somebody who's creative. But sometimes we got to look at it and say, like, what we're doing all the time, is it really beneficial? Or is it kind of destroying us? And I don't mean in a sense destroying us, like it's financially going to make us homeless or any of that stuff. But I do think at times we exhaust ourselves. And we just keep doing things. I don't know if we just keep doing them to stay busy, or we keep doing them for attention, or we keep doing them with the prospect of making a lot of money. I saw a quote not long ago where, a lot of people have dreams, right? Obviously. But, are some of the things we're doing, is it more or less an illusion or a fantasy kind of, right? Which again, I am all about creating. Let's not make I am about anybody creating and inventing. I love all that stuff. But I really do sometimes have to look at myself and say, am I creating the right thing? Am I developing the right thing? Because we can develop and create forever. You can go in your own home probably or apartment and constantly decorate it, right? That can go for a lot of things. Where's the end? What again? What are we truly getting out of this? Now, if you love creating, I don't care if it's macrame. I don't care you make something in your own home. You love just doing certain things. That's wonderful, and you're getting a lot out of it. I think though sometimes my creations, and I think a lot of people, it's not that you want to suffer. You just want to do things that are like really unique, but they also take a toll on you, like you can't sleep because you're thinking about creating it. Then when you're creating it, you're aggravated. Then you're asking advice from everybody, and then at times you don't have time to do anything else but that. You don't want to be bothered with anybody else except doing that. Again, it becomes a form of an addiction. And if you kind of looked at the outside in, it's just very interesting. So I just thought I would definitely do a podcast on this because I call it being lost in my creation. Both of my parents are creative, but my father's obsessed with creativity, but it's so different than me. So it's kind of like two guys. Like I like technology and things like that, doing a lot of things online. He's more hands-on, so he's going to be more of somebody who's going to like, somebody who builds cars, builds motorcycles. He could do carpentry, landscaping, things in that nature, right? Even interior design, he loves all that. And I'm like, that's not my thing. If I want I just go buy the car I want and then have a mechanic fix it, the way I want it. He's looking at it like, no, I want to do this to it and add this and do this. And then when I'm showing him or if I'm saying, hey, I want to build a website, hypothetically, I want this. Where I could see his obsession with creativity and then mine, even though they're different, but they're very similar. And I think we make people crazy, to be honest with you, a lot of times because that's all we're kind of thinking about as well. It's also overanalyzing certain things and always trying to improve on them or thinking you can do it better. But anyways, just maybe pay attention to these things. If you got any questions or comments, hit me up. And sometimes I do these podcasts because I just want to give a different perspective on creativity. I think a lot of times people think, oh, he's so creative. It's awesome for him. It's great. He's an artist. So I know a lot of even painter artists or whatever. Paint. It's great. But you do got to sometimes think, too, in your life, there does have to become a balance. And I saw a lot of this in LA when I was there. Like so many screenwriters, so many filmmakers or producers of television show, a lot of different things. And it's great that they go after their dream, right? I'm down with all that. But also I looked at them and said, there's got to be a better balance because a lot of these guys and women weren't even eating. A lot legit are trying to pretend there's something they're not, but a lot do live in their cars or they are close to being homeless. They can only eat once a day, which, you could do whatever you want to do. Or some don't even have they don't have air conditioning or heat. They don't even have electricity in their place. And I get you want to sacrifice a lot of times for your dreams and goals, but I don't necessarily think we have to always go that far. Now, that's just my opinion. As creative as you want to be as far as creating certain things, you got to be a little more maybe creative in your life because what you're doing may not be that healthy. So, and that can go for your eating again, your sleeping, just the lifestyle in general. And I used to look at a lot of them and go, my God, just the way they looked and what they had to wear or what they were going through. And then also not having the freedom to do anything else but create, like boxing yourself into that corner to say, okay, I only have enough money to build this or do this and I'm not going to stop. But then you don't even have enough money, say, to go visit your parents. Or if somebody passes away, you can't even leave. You don't have gas money half the time, all these things. Now, I get we fall in hard times, and I understand the starving artist aspect. I've been there. But I think sometimes we use that as a crutch. We don't always have to starve. We don't always have to sacrifice everything. It's not always all or nothing as being an artist. We can have a balance. You can have a family and be creative and not make everybody crazy in the same time is what I should say. I remember Francis Ford Coppola was talking about that when he had children, when he was making The Godfather and things. And I know maybe financially it was kind of hard at different times, but he was able, he said, to create his art, make films, and have a family, where a lot of people were, I think, discussing with him or other people at that time, like, you can't start a family now because you're a filmmaker, your career is going to take off, and if it doesn't take off, you're going to be broke, and what are you going to put your family through? All these different types of things. There is a balance there. I really believe it. Like, that's kind of what he said, and I believe it too. There's more to life sometimes than just going after and creating what you want to create. There's other things that can, bring you a lot of balance in your life, that can help you create. Or the reason I kept creating, I think, is because not only do I want to show my parents or my daughters or other people what I'm creating, and it's an expression of myself, but I wanted them to enjoy it with me, and kind of like they would inspire me, and hopefully I will inspire them. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Take care, and don't make yourself crazy.